Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Nothing Less podcast. I'm your co-host Dave, and I'm with the man, the myth, the legend.
And playoff bound New Orleans Saints fan, Alexis.
Anyways, now we're back with some fire. We're here to talk about, as the NFL has dubbed it, the Super Wildcard Weekend, and we're only going to go over Saturday, this episode, and then we're planning on making a part 2 for Sunday, so keep your eye out with that one. But yeah, let's get into this heat.
Before anything, just FYI, we're going to be trying to put those out as soon as possible. This one, hopefully, as soon as possible. When you hear this, I already put out the album of the year. There's also videos of just talk about how Week 17 and the way that one just transpired. And little mini breakdowns of sorts. But hopefully y'all like those. Hopefully you'll like this one. And, yeah, of course. Like Dave mentioned, super wild card, mega wild card. It's like when the mega powers collided. Hulk Hogan, Macho Man.
They're doing the handshake.
Like that, bro. It's just like that. But with that being said, Dave, the weekend. How was your weekend? How did you feel going through depression while the Cowboys let you down, man?
It was tough. Oh, come on, dude.
There you go. Check that. Go for it, bro.
Yeah, as Lex had said, dude, I was, week 17 leading up to it, or leading up to week 17, I was already telling Lex was hyping me up, right? He's like, hey, there's still a chance. I was like, no, I know how this story goes. It's been, it's for us Cowboys fans, we know how this story goes. We're there, but then we're not there, and we just choke it. You know what I mean? And yeah, leading up to that game, my Friday Saturday was bomb as hell. I got to spend some time with my fam into the new year, right? Just right. Celebrated my brother's birthday. Shout out to Ern. He's 27. 27 has never looked any better. And we're chilling, mad chilling. And I was avoiding the Cowboys. I was avoiding everything that, anything Cowboys related. 'Cause I know how this story goes. I know I've been in this. When did I was like 10 years old or like 9 when I first started rooting for the Cowboys religiously. So, and yeah, I knew how this story went. I'm not surprised that it happened the way it did. I'm just more glad that the Washington football team made it instead of the Giants. I don't want no 6-10 team representing us, bro.
But you got a
Hell
fucking
no.
7-19. It's the same thing.
But the NFL has seen it before. Has seen that before.
Yes.
So I don't want because then they would have dubbed that year's NFC East the worst division in football history, and I don't want that. I got a little bit of pride, but I got some pride and dignity in me,
Okay, I can feel that. For me, I think it's still dubbed the worst NFC East season of all time. I don't think you can even try to run away from that. But with that, the weekend itself for me it was just work, chill, no UFC. UFC is still two weeks. That one's gonna be a good one. But for that, the NFL took the cake for the best weekend. Like they were there was a lot of eyes on just the games that were going down, and the Sunday night obviously how it faltered in ways. It's sensible to be like, okay, hey, the Giants didn't make it because they were they won 6 games, but man, I don't know. Fuck Doug Peterson. That's facts.
Dude, that guy is a joke. Nah, no, he won a Super Bowl, but man, how can you do that to this guy's gonna play future seasons. Like Carson Wentz ain't that dude anymore.
Yeah.
He's not that dude anymore. But yeah, I was thinking that Carson Wentz might go to the Colts after the season or when Phillip leaves, but yeah, Carson doesn't want to be there, and how can you do that to Jalen? You know what I mean? I think just creating QB controversy for your future franchise quarterback would just it'll mess with them mentally, you know. As we saw, Tua was he was doing okay up until that last game where he got benched for Fitzmagic, but then you saw it again when he returned against the Bills. He got absolutely got demolished. He got wiped. You know what I mean? Like clobbered. And as Jim Ross would say, what a clobber knocker, but
A slobber knocker.
slobber knocker. There you go. Clobber,
Clobber knocker.
clobber knocker.
It's a little wild there, but nonetheless, like we mentioned, we're gonna talk about Saturday night's part one of the mega wild card, and I mean it's stacked throughout most of the day. The first game that obviously pops out is everyone's favorite to dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs is the number 2 Bills. They're gonna go against the number 7 Colts. Obviously, the Colts came in because of the Miami mishap in Buffalo. If Dolphins win that game, they're in. But they couldn't handle the business. They got stomped out. And now it's the Colts' job to stomp out the Bills. With that being said, I mean, do a lot of people think that's going to happen? Chances are, no. I think it's like a 70-30, maybe 85-15% that the Colts win that game. 50% chance they win. And, I mean, I don't know about you, Dave, but I think the Colts are looking good. And Rodney Harrison on NBC said it best. He thinks you got to take the ball out of Phillip Rivers' hands in those situations. You got to give it to Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor ran for, 252, something like that, just by himself. The man is a monster. And he's finally coming into his own, kind of like how the Bears running back David Montgomery in the same way. They kind of both are playing at the best level right now. But Buffalo is a high-powered offense. Their defense has been playing better, much better than they were, let's say, the first 5 weeks of the season. But I think that was my argument with Indianapolis could counter that. Is their defense is pretty good, and they can run the ball consistently to the point where they're going to kill that defense at least to even hold off that Buffalo offense on the sideline. I think this game is going to be much closer than people think. I hope at least, I want all the games to be competitive because I feel like the AFC could make a statement this year and say we were the best conference this year and by a far long shot. But the Colts, I think, with Jonathan Taylor should run the rock. Naheem Hines is going to be a pass receiving threat backfield. And Phillip Rivers, when he needs to make a play, he'll make a play. And their receivers should do some work. But Dave, what do you think about this game? If you had an X factor in ways of not even maybe a player, but maybe your coaches or just situation and all that, what do you think is gonna happen?
I'm kind of leaning to it being more of a offensive game because I mean Buffalo, we all know they're ranked number 2 in offense, and the Colts are ranked number 17 in pass defense. So I think it's gonna be an outscoring type of game. The one X factor that I do have is I want to see Stephon Diggs. The breakout star of this season. I would say he's. I mean, we knew he was a dog. We knew he was a dog in Minnesota, but he's really come alive, especially with Josh Allen feeding him the rock. I think one game he had 15 receptions, some odd number like that, a huge amount of receptions, and I think that's the real X factor in this game. I think Josh Allen really feeding him the rock like that. I expect Stephon Diggs to have a dog of a game, maybe even record breaking.
Okay, so dog, you mean like he'll put up mega stats?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think that's going to be the deciding factor of that game.
You think it's a what?
I think that would be the deciding factor of that game,
All right. For me, I think it really just is a matter of Phillip Rivers. Can Phillip Rivers make it happen in the key situations, in key third downs, to keep a drive alive? Like we mentioned, I mean, Buffalo is an outstanding offense. Their rushing game is not great, but their pass offense is lethal. You have Stephon Diggs, 1,500-yard receiver. Cole Beasley, 1,100-yard receiver. And you have pretty good a pretty good tight end in Dawson Knox. And I don't know where you go wrong because Josh Allen could just throw it anywhere and he could run for it. And it's very key for the Colts to hold it down for at least like 30 minutes, maybe 25 minutes of the game. And that's really why Phillip Rivers to me is the X factor in this, because if Phillip Rivers can play a good game, just like conservative ball and make the plays when he needs to, this game is going to be much closer than anyone can see. But I mean, with the way the Bills are playing, putting up 56 against the Dolphins, and we all thought the Dolphins defense was crazy. Damn, I mean, that's props to them. So it's gonna be a tall order for the Colts. But I think if we always try to see it from both sides, you don't want to just think it's a blowout every time, because Buffalo is a Super Bowl favorite. We agree. We think Kansas City is a Super Bowl favorite as well. But you could really make an argument 1-2 for the AFC are gonna be the ones to make the Super Bowl. It's either the Bills or the Chiefs, and then in the NFC you got Green Bay, and New Orleans, and you could say Tampa. Tampa would be like the very odd
dark horse.
A dark horse in number, because it's a number 5 team in the rank for the NFC playoffs, but they're stacked amongst everything. But any other thoughts on this game, Dave?
No, I'm pretty sure you said it best. And it's wild too, cause the Bills, they're actually ranked 18th on rushing defense, compared to Indianapolis is ranked 10th on rushing offense. So it's gonna be it's gonna stack up pretty nicely. But yeah, I think this is gonna be a lot closer of a game than most people think. Like I said, high scoring. That's the main game that I really want to watch. On Saturday.
Yeah, and now obviously if you go from that one to the NFC, right? You got the NFC. You got the number 6 Rams going up against the Seattle Seahawks in what should be an interesting match, because what Seattle always has in the playoffs is the 12-man, and they're not gonna have them. It's gonna be an empty arena. Or empty stadium, I'm sorry. And I mean, weather conditions, it always falters both teams, not just one. So, and we're not sure how it's gonna be in Seattle on January. Was it the 9th?
Yeah.
The 9th. So, it's gonna be interesting. Dave, do you want to break it down first, and then I'll jump in second for that one?
Yeah. If you want. As we're all used to, Russ doing Russ things. I think, he's gonna have his hands full, because the Rams are no joke. What are the Seahawks ranked? Number 3
Number
in the
3.
NFC.
The
NFC. So, oh man, I think Russ is gonna have his hands full with that. With that rushing, with that pass rush that LA has, and and we've said it before, that bootleg that LA has perfected. To the T. But the one thing, Jared Goff, he's unfortunately he's out. His thumb.
Well, he might play. He might play. They might setting him up to play.
You want to say him to play?
Yeah. So John Wolford might not play. It might be Jared Goff.
But I mean, like, do you really want him to? Like, I wouldn't, because it could get. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. But let's just say if you do win and you get hurt, is it really gonna matter when you face a dog of a team and like maybe the Packers, right? Because they're ranked 6th.
Yeah, they would get that.
They would get the Packers. So I mean, I wouldn't allow.
Well, no, it all depends.
Well, yeah, it depends on like the Bears.
Yeah, it would be in the Bears.
But let's just say, right? They face a dog of a team where you need a healthy guy. And then let's say Jared Goff, he absolutely breaks his thumb. God forbid, whatever. He breaks his thumb, and then now you need Wolford to come back and be that dog that you saw in week 17. So I unfortunately see it one-sided. I see the Seahawks really I don't want to say Bills and Miami type thing, but we'll see. A one-sided or lopsided game.
I feel
That's my.
Not feel you. I feel you. I would agree if it wasn't for like Seattle not putting up enough points every week. That's what's one thing I noticed. A lot of people have mentioned it, and it's totally true. From the first 6 to 7 weeks of the season, Seattle was putting up points like crazy, and the last few weeks they've been just kind of playing the run game and playing bully ball and defense and try to just hold it down, which in ways that gives you more of an identity as far as another dimension. You could win these type of games like any other way. You could win a shootout. You could win just a really tight game under 25 points. You see what they're made of, but I think that's what also gives the Rams a chance is they can conserve because they got Jalen Ramsey, the best corner in the league. You got the best defensive player in the league in Aaron Donald, and Michael Brockers is an underrated pass rush. You got Floyd in the pass rush, and they can do that. They could just hold down Russell Wilson. Like it's kind of how we mentioned about just Buffalo just holding them, like keeping that offense on the side. I think that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna make a lot of 3-and-outs. Like one key thing though, Aaron Donald is injured. I know that for sure. He has like a little limp. So that's something to keep an eye on. But I just think the Rams could hold it down for majority of the game. I think they can. I think they get the upset. I'm gonna be honest.
You think so?
I think they beat the Seahawks. I just don't think they have enough offensive firepower, and that's weird to say with DK Metcalf having a breakout year and Tyler Lockett. It's just the inconsistency on offense the last few weeks to me is gonna cause them fits. I think they won their last game by like it was a close game, no? They played the Niners.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and I don't know. I expect the Rams to keep it close. I think they pull it out. If Jared Goff just gives the ball to Darrell Henderson and that running backs, what's his name? Cam Akers, and let's give it to them, man. Malcolm Brown, just force the rock. You know what that pass rush of the Seahawks can do if you just pass the ball and you have a limping and ailing Jared Goff. Just punish them. But any other thoughts, Dave, on that one?
Not really. I mean, I don't really seeing it being, well, maybe a little close first half, and then I think Seattle really runs away with it. What was I gonna say? I think Seattle, their defense has really come alive these last couple of weeks. I think they took that secondary because we all knew first half of the season, Seattle's secondary was absolute garbage. It was absolute trash, and I think after week 8 they never allowed a receiver to score a touchdown, or at least a receiving touchdown. I think all of the receiving touchdowns came from a tight end, and it was something wild like 1 or 2. So I think that defense is disciplined enough where they could not have an answer for that bootleg attack, but at least slow it down to the fact where they could run away with it.
We both have two different opinions on this game, but that's obviously we're not going to agree on everything on that one. But I think that game's going to be good. It's an interesting game in respects for it being a divisional game in a way. Like, this is the third time they meet this season. So, with that, we went through these pretty good. We got the
that was quick.
yeah, we're on the third game already. I feel like we broke it down pretty decently for both. We got the last game of Saturday, which shouldn't be a surprise. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, Antonio Brown, the late acquisition. They travel to Washington to play the 7-9 Washington football teams led by Alex Smith and his injured calf. And you got Scary Terry McLaurin. This game could be really, like, I don't know. I guess it's just all the games. This one can be a blowout. Just if you look at the numbers, the analytics say this is a blowout because the Washington football team are ranked 30th in offense, total offense, and their defense is top two. But if you look at Tampa, Tampa is like a seventh ranked offense with an eighth ranked defense. So what's gonna budge there? Um, Dave, if I would ask you, what's gonna be the winning formula for Washington, what would you say?
The win formula: blitz Brady over and over, cover the flats, make Brady as uncomfortable as you could make him. I think he's really slowed down with age, and you have to. It's been all over. If you follow the NFL at all, Mike Evans, he's really had a crazy year. Um,
Is he out for the game?
I think he should.
He sprained that knee pretty bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, and that's their dude. Other than Chris Godwin, but um, whether he's in or out, just make Brady uncomfortable. And if he does come back, which I highly doubt, because I mean it was a knee sprain, um, cover him. Make sure he's spotlighted. If you want a play to be made, it has to be from Chris Godwin or Antonio Brown. So um, and on offense, they've really struggled. I don't think Washington has really. I mean, we bring them up with Scary Terry, but other than that, what do they have?
Yeah.
So I think that's their win formula. Really be greedy with every yard on defense. Their defense would have to win them this game, and yeah, I think that's the formula to beat the Bucks.
Make it a dogfight.
Make it a dogfight.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's hard to even control one number one, and that would be Mike Evans. But the fact that they brought in a number one off like he was on the streets, Antonio Brown, and then you have Chris Godwin that's playing pretty good right now. Shit, man. And then Scotty Miller's always gonna be Tom Brady's little check down man, or even like a little mid route man. So that's one to worry about. And you don't forget the Hall of Famer himself, future Hall of Famer Gronk. Yeah. So it's a lot of weapons that Washington needs to control. And yeah, you just hope their pass rush can get there. Montez Sweat. You talk about Deron Payne. You talk about Chase Young. You talk about Jonathan Allen. That front four needs to make a lot of noise and really annoy Tom Brady to even. I feel like if that pass rush could hold it down, this game is not going to be close as far as like let's say the offense are concerned. But I feel like the defense could cause turnovers. Alex Smith is just limping around. I don't know how much he can really make plays. Like how you said, Scary Terry and what else? That's the big thing. Logan Thomas has been playing pretty good. They're tight end, but I feel like they have enough bodies control. I mean, that linebacking core for the Bucs is so fast. They could handle them. So, I mean, you just hope Scary Terry could just destroy the Tampa Bay secondary. That's been an issue for them.
Yeah.
But you're also hoping Alex Smith doesn't get hit because Shaq Barrett should be coming back from the COVID list, and they still got Ndamukong Suh down the middle, if I'm not mistaken, right? Mm-hmm. So they got runners in that fucking defense, and they're a number 5 team, but they're not just your ordinary number 5 team. That team is pretty much considered top 3 to number 2 in that conference. A lot of people have them winning the Super Bowl and still. So it's Tom Brady. I guess it's Tom Brady versus the pass rush. Chase Young said, "We want Tom Brady." Bruce Arians says, "You don't want what you asked for." So I mean, it seems like they know what's gonna happen. Man, I don't know. That one's a hype game as far as can Washington pull out the upset, man? Can they do it? Yeah. They didn't go in just to fucking take a spot in the playoffs. That's kind of the mentality. I feel like that's what they're going with. But shit, that game. But
if you were to have to make a prediction, who would you? I mean, I think that would be an upset alert. I think that would be like the upset alert of Wildcard Weekend.
think so?
Yeah.
You got.
I mean,
You got Washington winning. That's what you got. That's what it sounds like.
They would have to be. They would have to be really. That defense would really have to outperform, and like you said, there's so many stars. There's so many playmakers in that offense. You know. Yeah. How I go Washington winning.
What's the score?
Score looking real tough. I got 19-13. Oh, and just a little fun fact: all 7 and 9 teams are 4-1. Like every single every 7 and 9 team that's ever made to that's ever made it to the playoffs on Wildcard Weekend, they're 4-1. So that's just a little insight there.
Oh,
Little stat.
I think Tampa wins, but my score is 34-28. 34-28 Tampa. It's a scary win as far as like it leaves you questioning some things, but it'll make you understand that Tom Brady's Tom Brady. He's the legend. He's the number one quarterback of all time for a reason. But with that being said, I mean, Dave, Super Bowl picks. We're here. This is the AFC is stacked. The NFC is stacked in some ways. They're top heavy for sure. But if I would ask you who's gonna be representing the AFC and the NFC, tell me what teams and why.
I think I'll go. You know what? I'll go AFC championships and NFC championships. I think AFC championship is gonna be a crazy high scoring game. One that we've never seen. It's gonna be a crazy game. I can't wait for that AFC title if these two teams make it. If the Bills make it and the Chiefs make it, I think that's everybody's pick to go to that AFC championship. So, but I think the Chiefs edge out the Bills by a small margin, but they edge them out. I mean that team is tough. You know, they've only lost one game this whole entire season. Oh, 2 games. I'm sorry.
Wow. 2 games they benched Patrick Mahomes to rest.
Yeah, but I mean, that's something to think about.
It means nothing, but
but yeah, that I'll just count that one game because they were But I mean, I just I don't see the Bills really edging out the Chiefs. It's gonna be crazy and close, and they can, but I just think the Chiefs make another run at the Super Bowl. And as for the NFC side of things, I think it's the same thing. We all have them picked, the Saints, and fuck the Saints. We'll go the Washington football team and the Packers are gonna the Saints and the Pack, they go out.
I was about to kick you out.
The hell out of my podcast. But yeah, I in Lambeau Field, I think the Saints finally get it done. They finally get it done after years of playoff heartbreak, and they go back to the Super Bowl, and they lose in the Super Bowl. That's and Chiefs make a repeat. And yeah.
Is it a blowout?
No, absolutely not.
I didn't take a nice little fresh air just to hear that bullshit. But okay, so my NFC championship would be. Would it happen? Let me see. For the sake of the argument, I could see Green Bay winning and making it, but I think it's possible. Tampa, New Orleans, for the NFC Championship. I think Tampa should beat Green Bay if they ever meet, because I think there's a chance they will. And I think Tampa would do the work. The Saints make the run as well, And I think New Orleans wins the NFC Championship game, goes into the Super Bowl. They play in the AFC Championship. We got the Chiefs playing the Ravens. The Ravens are running really, really good right now. They're rough shot. Those guys are tough. And I was going to say, I mean, they're... Man, I don't know. You could consider them a number, like a one of those like top seeds, but they're just a bottom seed. You know,
Yeah.
they had a little faulty moments, but I think they could really make a play to again if it's possible. If it's not possible, I mean, then, you know, because I would think what are they? They're 6 seed, right?
Yeah.
They're a 6 seed, so who's the 7th? The 7th would need to beat.
The sevens would need to beat.
The 7th would need to beat the Bills, which would be the Colts, and the Colts would play the Chiefs. Then the Ravens would get the next round.
No, wait, no. The Ravens are
7th?
No. The
Fifth?
Ravens are fourth. Oh no, they're fifth. Yeah, the Browns are sixth.
Okay, so there's a chance for them to actually do that. So it's not far fetched. I think the Ravens with that running attack that they've been putting on Showcase is gonna cause everyone issues. And Lamar Jackson's been playing nothing but outstanding the last few weeks. Man, I think I got the Chiefs winning, but that's gonna be one hell of an AFC Championship if it happens. You got 2 MVPs. Well, yeah, Mahomes is one MVP, right?
Yeah.
So, and we're gonna pick the NFL MVP right now too.
Yep.
But I got Mahomes and Drew Brees Super Bowl. Drew Brees he hasn't announced, but the whole world pretty much knows he's gonna retire at the end of the season. All everyone knows is when NFL players announce retirement after the season, that usually means they win the Super Bowl. So Drew Brees Super Bowl, Saints 2nd Super Bowl of all time. I'm gonna get my Super Bowl jersey. I'm gonna be in the parade with them. I'm gonna get some days off, celebrate, get crunk. But yeah, Saints Super Bowl. Now the better question: who is your NFL MVP, Defensive Player of the Year? Am I missing one? Offensive Player of the Year.
I mean, isn't that do they really have it?
Yeah.
I would go. Oh, do I go?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we'll.
Or if you want, I could go.
Yeah, you can go.
I could go. So, MVP Aaron Rodgers. I don't think you can really fight that. The guy's throwing almost 50 touchdowns and like 5 picks, something like that. Something insane. Almost reached 5,000 yards, if I'm not mistaken, passing. He was like over 4,700, something like that, 45. The guy's outstanding. So you can't not pick him. But a lot of people say, why not Josh Allen? And I agree, Josh Allen's had an outstanding year too. But damn, man, 48, was it like 48 touchdowns, 5 picks. So you can't beat that. So it'd be, for my finalist, it'd be Aaron Rodgers number 1, Patrick Mahomes number 2, and number 3 Josh Allen. That would be my finalists, 1, 2, and 3. Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know what they'd go with because Xavier Howard had the most picks, but they usually don't pick people with that. I would say maybe TJ Watt, or I guess I know they mentioned Chase Young. So Chase Young, I'm going with TJ Watt winning Defensive Player of the Year. And Offensive Player of the Year, I mean, I guess you'd give it to Aaron Rodgers. So, but if we pick the wide receiver, you'd have to pick Stephon Diggs for that. Dave, what do you think?
I completely agree with the MVP part of it. Even in the ranking system, I think it's no question Aaron Rodgers deserves the MVP.
Yeah.
From what he's done this season. And then Patrick Mahomes being close second, with Josh Allen not really trailing that far behind. So yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I think MVP candidate should go to Aaron Rodgers, no questions asked. As for Offensive Player of the Year, I would have to go.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that's that's what I was gonna do right now. But yeah, I would go Derrick Henry. You know, he's we were talking it before. We were talking about it before we went on air. Derrick Henry, if you were to eliminate all his first half yards, he would still be ranked number 4th in rushing yards in this season. And yeah, man, I think it's no questions asked. Offensive player of the year should really go to Derrick Henry. He's really carried. Not carried because that Titans offense is a dog of an offense, but yeah, I mean I think he's
Yeah, he carried.
he carried.
Yeah, I mean 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
He carried.
But I mean, yeah, I think he's an absolute he's a terror to all defenses when it comes to tackling. So, but as for my defensive player of the year, I would I mean, T.J. Watt, you know, he had, and it's wild too, cause we're talking about it that T.J. Watt he leads in sacks, yet you know it's what is it, 15 sacks, which is like the least that we've seen, in like half a decade maybe, or maybe even the whole decade, but I would give it to Xavier Howard. How do you give it to him?
Gotcha.
I haven't seen a defensive back win defensive player in a year in a while. So.
Yeah. But we're gonna end it with that. I mean, the next episode obviously is gonna be the Sunday's breakdown of the Super Wild Card and all that stuff. So hopefully you all get to tune in for that one. I'm Alexis. This is Dave. Nothing Less Podcast. And that was episode 26. I don't even think we mentioned it.
Yeah. Oh, actually, first episode of the year of sports. Sports related. So
we did it. So episode 26 and the first episode of January 2021. Right? Yeah. I said it all fucked up,
yeah.
but it works. Tune in for the next one, guys.